Welcome. My name is Ryan Belkoff, and today we are going to talk about fall protection, ladder safety, and other procedures to follow for guardrails. So the OSHA standard here, we have a subpart M. It does matter on what industry you're working in. For example, construction or just general have different standards for this fall hazard protection. So, for example, general industry, fall protection, it should be triggered at 4 feet. And this applies to most workplaces, whereas construction is triggered at 6 feet. And so at the 6 feet trigger, they say it saves 80 lives per year, and I definitely believe that. It's just a little frustrating that the standards are different per industry. And then we have scaffolding, which has a different standard, which I think is legitimate because usually you have guards on the side, but it should be triggered at 10 feet. So just general compliance issues with OSHA on fall protection. So with the scaffolding, there's a number of things that OSHA can look at, determine if they have good base plates, um, whether they should have anchors for those fall rests, and then those anchors. One of the important things is actually they should support 5,000 pounds per employee attached. And most of this you see, you look at the strap, it says it's 5,000 pounds and you're good to go. But the anchor is super important on this and actually really testing it. So I haven't actually done that many tests with it because I wasn't responsible for this as the safety professional. I was overseeing it. But every time the person under me actually was testing this, they always failed considerably less amount of pounds. So this is a standard 5,000 pounds per employee. As part of that fall protection, you should have a written plan. That's just part of the protocol, looking at what are the rules, what are the equipment that you want to use. And then looking at the equipment's life cycle, if the anchor points are certified, making sure there's no tipping or ripping or fraying of fabric. So there's different types of protection equipment when we're looking at falls. So we have a personal rest, fall rest, and this system arrests the employees. So it consists of anchor, connectors, and body harness, and that's on the far left. Whereas we can have a guardrail system on the edge, usually making a barrier between that employee and the fall. And then we can have safety nets, usually underneath of the work area, to catch a worker if they fall. So, and it has to be a minimum distance so to absorb that energy so they don't get hurt. So we'll move on to ladders and protocols to use for them if your workplace has them. And so you should do a pre-inspection, just like those fall rest systems looking for fraying. On this, you want to look for cracks on those rungs, if the braces are damaged, if there's corrosion, burrs. Most of them are metal, but you can also have wood with splintering, moisture causing warping. And then fiberglass would be the next one, probably the most common, but usually less problems than looking for signs of blooming or deterioration. For a proper positioning on the ladder, so this is the angle on that to wherever you're going. So 4:1 is the ratio that you're looking for. So for example, 1 foot away for every 4 foot of height is what that's pretty much saying for the 4:1 rule on the base height ratio. Other things to ask for do's and don'ts. So, uh, ascending properly, you should always be in a face first towards the building when you're climbing or going down. Protect the base, a strong, nice base, making sure it's not going to sink in, it's not near any high traffic areas. No leaning, so like overextending yourself, making it unstable. If it's slippery, that's the other issue. If it's raining, snowing, all of those are issues. No tools in hand, so you should have a harness or a tool belt so you can maintain that three contact points, as well as maintain center of gravity. So you shouldn't ever be leaning or on the highest rung when climbing ladders. So also part of this fall protection is what are you going to do if there's an injury? So if a person is hanging upside down, uh, they can lose consciousness. How are you going to, um, rescue that person? What's your protocol? Is it just to call 911? Do you have a person, a rescue system? So very similar to um, confined space. Again, other things to address when for working at heights, shouldn't work alone. I've never seen people with two ladders, but just today, actually, someone said, "Oh, you're a safety guy. Come look at this." And it was a ladder, and it didn't reach all the way. So it should actually extend in there by 3 feet. So they actually have to pull themselves up. Obviously, they're more than the top rung. This is here at the university, unfortunately. Um, yeah, it's no good. So other things never work alone, similar to that confined space. You want three people. On this one, two is just fine. Um, if someone does, fall held by the arrest system, something to keep that blood from pooling is tell them moving their legs, trying to move to an upright position, um, all of the things said to address with falls and ladders. So this is a very short lecture, but very important. I know, electrical work, plumbing, a lot of the construction, they're on ladders quite a bit and can be unsafe. It doesn't take that much height to actually be fatal. With that, I'll conclude this lecture. I look forward to your questions. Thank you.